What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy Labor Day. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get my life together over here. Happy Labor Day, everybody. I hope all is well. Hope you guys are enjoying. Hope you guys are enjoying your Labor Day. And unfortunately, if you do have to work today, I hope that it's a stress-free day for you. Um, so first of all, let me start off with an apology. I told y'all that I was gonna come down here last night and do a review. But let me be honest. By the time I got done eating dinner and watching the episode, because I had not watched the second Miami episode, it was like 9 o'clock, 9:30. And I ain't gonna tell y'all no lies. I just didn't feel like it. I didn't realize how late it had gotten. I thought I'd be done eating by like 8 o'clock, But I had some crabs. And if y'all don't eat crabs, then y'all won't understand. But baby, by the time I got done warming them crabs up and picking through them crabs, and I get good sized crabs, but still, I get all my meat because them crabs are too expensive. I get all the meat. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna start off with an apology, but let's get into it. We have 2 episodes to get to. Also tonight, the Whether You Like It or Not panel will be having a sneak peek preview and dissecting the Real Housewives of Potomac trailer. So make sure you guys come back here at 8:30-ish. Y'all already know the drill. If it ain't on y'all Rail's channel, it's 8:30-ish. But we'll be here. And it's going to be on my channel, so it's already set up. So go ahead and set your reminder now, okay? All right, let's get into it. What's up, Nikachu? Said, I can't wait for this 2-for-1. Yes, let's get into it. Hey, Quake, Tawana, Lauren, Sierra, and Cheryl. Y'all come on in. Now, let's get into it. So we start off this first episode 12. We start off with at the red dinner with Larsa getting up from the table and just feeling some kind of way about the fact that Jody was texting her and she felt like Lisa is just being extra and making this whole dinner about her because Lisa's got this crisis where she has to go find a notary, yada, yada, yada. Now, we had a whole conversation on my last live about these notaries. Now, come to find out, you can get something notarized over the computer. And I believe, shout out to the people in the chat. I don't remember who you were, but go ahead and pat yourself on the back. Shout out to the people in the chat who were like, yeah, you can do that. I know, especially post-COVID, they've made a lot of allowances when it comes to stuff like that. So Lisa was able to get the paperwork signed through a notary. All she had to do was do like a Zoom meeting, yada, yada, yada. But here's my issue, y'all. And y'all know how I am. I'm going to take everything on a piece-by-piece basis. So let's break down these pieces. Lisa, when you were on the phone with Jody, Jody was like, you know how we did it before. So, Lisa, girl, if you've done it before, if you've had to get stuff notarized and you've had to do it over the computer before, explain to me why you was acting like a damsel in distress, like you didn't understand and you didn't know what it was that you needed to do. See, that's the stuff I can't stand about these grown-ass women that act like they 5. Lisa, you are going to find yourself right back in the same situation that you found yourself in with Lenny because you waiting for a man to take care of you instead of taking care of yourself. You didn't learn nothing from this lesson with Lenny. Not a damn thing. You might walk away with some money and that's great, but you didn't learn anything from it. So I'm not even sure that you're going to keep the money because I don't know what you learned from it. And we're gonna get to that a little bit later when they down to what's that place they went, whatever that place they went, and they was at that villa and Lisa was acting like she ain't never been nowhere before, but we'll get to that when we get to that, child. Okay, Lauren said I'm gonna pat myself on the back. Thank you so much. Yes, Lauren was the one, and I knew it was I knew it was one of my regulars that was like, no, you can do a notary, and I was like, I ain't know that. Y'all know I don't have no problem coming down here when I'm wrong or be like, I didn't know that. I did not know you could do a notary over the computer. So, but what pissed me off was Lisa acting like, oh my God. See, and maybe it's just me. And I feel like, sure, listen, all the people in my chat, I'm looking at the names of the people who done dropped down. I know enough about y'all via our YouTube relationship that I feel like y'all would have done the exact same thing of what I'm about to say I would have done. Had that been me, had that been moi, I would have excused myself from the table I would have went and called, even if I did need to call my boyfriend, because I was like, do you think that'll be okay? I'm out of the country. You think I could do it the same way? Even if I had to make a phone call to my boyfriend to just verify, maybe I would have got my ass up from that table. I would have excused myself. I would have gone over to the corner. I would have called my boyfriend. And if he had said, you need to do A, B, and C, and I understand we filming the show. I get it, y'all. I get it. But even if I had to go back over to the table and say, y'all, Lenny tripping again. He done sent me some stuff. I got to go take care of it. Y'all don't worry about it. I'll be back in 20, 30 minutes tops. Even if for the purposes of the show, you had to let people know what was going on. But all of this acting like you was a damsel in distress, that's the shit I can't do with you, Lisa. I just can't. Now, Larsa, let me come over here to you. Now, Larsa, see, this is what I hate. I hate when people be having me out here defending their asses and then they be on some bullshit. Hey, Chuck Boo. Then they be on some bullshit, okay? Larsa, I still feel the way I feel, okay? That, hey, Candy Loves TV, I still feel the way I feel that, what's her boyfriend name? Jody has no reason to be texting you. 100%. Full stop. Jody has no business texting Larsa. Y'all don't have that kind of relationship, even if y'all used to. Even if y'all used to be cool like that, because he got your number somehow. Y'all not there no more. And he knows y'all not there anymore. You know y'all not there anymore. Jody, you had no reason to text Larsa. Whatever Larsa and Lisa got going on is between Larsa and Lisa. I don't care if Lisa is calling you every day complaining about Larsa. I don't care if she crying on your shoulder. You were absolutely wrong for texting Larsa. Full stop. Full stop. However, was I the only one that was a little underwhelmed when they started reading those text messages? Larsa act like that man was threatening her. Again, he shouldn't have been texting her at all. Let's be clear. But I was like, Larsa, girl, you walked in there like Jody was threatening to come and get you. Thank you, Holly. Thank you for the super chat, my love. Thank you so much. Holly said, finally caught a live on this channel. Don't forget to like and hype. Yes, thank you, Holly. Like and hype it, y'all. Like and hype it. Thank you so much, my love. Exactly. Lisa does very unnecessary things and whips people into a frenzy for nothing. Right. That's why I said I really wish we had a footage of Lisa going through that damn train station with all her luggage. I know. I'm going to be honest. I'm shocked Lisa made it to the hotel. If Lisa had to do all they said she had to do, I am shocked Lisa made it to that daggone hotel. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I'm surprised Lisa made it. Okay? And that's how I know that production didn't have nothing to do with that, because, baby, trust and believe we'd have got some footage of that shit. They're also extra, made it seem like he could. Right. Those texts, like when they, because Larsa read it. I mean, was it Gertie that read a text message out loud? And then Lisa read a text message out loud. And they were two different text messages, but neither one of them made it seem like Jody was about to get on a plane and come over there and get her. Like, he didn't threaten her. He was just like, girl, look, we've been trying to let this thing go, but why do you keep talking? And then she's going to say, I don't talk about him. Girl, yes, you have. You have talked about Jody. You have brought up some things about Jody. You have. Girl, you have. Now, I don't think you're necessarily wrong about your opinion on Jody. But again, I thought Lisa would have gotten... Sweet Pea, baby, I'm surprised Lisa made it. I ain't going to tell y'all no lies. I'm surprised Lisa made it. They did the same thing with... They did, Cheryl. They did. They hyped up that picture. Now, don't get me wrong. Jody's face did look crazy. But I feel like... I think all of us, we can find a picture where either we weren't ready or the camera was too, like, the flash was bright. Baby, I got some family pictures. I ain't never going to show y'all that. I love y'all to death, but those y'all ain't never going to see. But I had these family pictures. We took these family pictures. I was like maybe in middle school. I don't even remember, but I was in middle school. And baby, in every single picture, my eyes are like this. You know why my eyes are like that in every single picture? Because every time, whoever that photographer was, his flash was ridiculous. So they had to keep taking, this was before digital cameras, okay? So he couldn't see the picture as he was taking them, but he knew I was closing my eyes. So he kept saying, I need you to keep your eyes open. I need you to keep your eyes open. So finally, I was just like this. And then, baby, when them pictures came back, and I was in every single picture like this. So listen, people can have a crazy look at a picture for different reasons. But I do, like I said, Jody, you were still wrong for reaching out to her. You just had no reason to. You had no reason to reach out to her. But anyway, my cousin sent me, and he might be in the bushes too. My cousin that comes on my chat, he actually sent me that picture. He found it in some pictures. I think my grandmother's old photo album or something. He gonna send it to me one day. I was like, why? Don't send me this shit. Don't send me this picture. If he here, he about to drop down because sometimes he be in the bushes and he'll drop down when I say something. But he sent me that picture one time. He said, he was going through some of grandma's pictures. Anyway, moving right along. With that being said, we gonna move right along. So that whole situation was just crazy to me, right? Hey, Annie T, so you can't stay long. Well, that's okay, boo. Thanks for dropping down. Thanks for coming through. Catch the replay. Excuse me, y'all. Okay. So that's what I have here. Y'all know I had to take notes because it was 2 episodes. Larsa and Jody text notary, Lisa online, Lisa text. So then Lisa's at the table taking notes. And listen, I have no idea why Lisa is feeling the need to, because she's not just taking notes, she's recording. I don't know if y'all are paying attention to that or not, but Lisa's recording them. And do we not remember the mess that it started over on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City with what was her name? The girl that was recording them. Do we not remember how big of a issue that was? Baby, that's not okay. For you to be recording. Why are you recording these people? Lisa, you've been around these people for 20 years. What are you recording? Talking about I learned in my divorce. Girl, what you divorcing them? I mean, what lesson did you, Brittany, thank you, Sierra. What lesson did you learn in your divorce that you feel the need to be recording these people? Girl. Moving right along. So that's an issue. People are having a hard time. So then Julia does what Julia does best. She got up and started kissing everybody, talking about I want to loosen up the mood. Julia, you just wanted some attention. Moving right along. So the next day, the ladies split into 2 groups. One group went to a tile factory to make some tiles, and the other group went sightseeing. The sightseeing group, it wasn't really nothing real exciting with that. I would have went with the sightseeing group because that's the kind of a nerd I am. When I travel, those are the kinds of things I like to do. Yes, I like to have fun. Yes, I like to go to a nice restaurant. Yes, I like to have me a good cocktail or 2. But I also want to see the history of where I am. I also want to see, because let's be clear. And for those of you who have never traveled outside of the United States, once you travel outside of the United States, you really realize just how young the United States is. I mean, remember, our country hasn't even existed for more than 300 years. Our buildings are, even some of the oldest buildings in our country are still only maybe 400 or 500 years old. You go overseas and you're looking at buildings that have stood for thousands of years. So it puts things into perspective. And so I definitely would have enjoyed going with the sightseeing. And yes, Adriana knows a lot of shit. Adriana is very intelligent, which is why I know she's smarter than, we're going to get to that later. I know she's smarter than what she did. We're going to get to that. Don't worry, y'all. Y'all know I got something to say about that one. Vicky said in the interview that she would take notes when she got and what she wore. I guess a lot of housewives do that. When she got, what she wore. I can see people keeping up with stuff like that, but I'm not sure what Lisa's angle is. And I would feel a little weird if I looked up and saw Lisa was recording. Like, it'd be like, girl, why? Like, what you recording and why are you recording it? So again, I can understand them having some angst about it, right? All right. So the other ladies were overdoing tile, making tile or whatever. And that's where the juice was going on. Well, on the sightseeing, the only big thing that happened there was that they convinced Lisa to unfollow Marcus. And then they swore them to secrecy because they didn't want, basically, Lisa didn't want to give Larsa the satisfaction, right? Lisa didn't want Larsa to know she unfollowed. She didn't want to give her the satisfaction of unfollowing, but whatever. So then over with the tile, that was Stephanie, Julia, Marisol, Alexia. Yeah, I think that was the group. And that's where they were talking about wasn't Lisa initially recording Larsa because Larsa lies? Chuck, all of them lie. And I get it that if her intention was to record Larsa, but like Julia said, okay, it's Larsa today because you're mad at Larsa, but tomorrow it'll be me because you're mad at me. And the next week it'll be Marisol because you're mad at Marisol. Like it's just it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. Well, I don't see nothing wrong with making mental notes. I mean, I think we all do that, But I think sitting at a table, because again, she wasn't just writing notes. In my opinion, Lisa was recording. And I could be wrong, but it looked like when Lisa pulled out her phone and she hits these buttons and then she holds her phone a certain way, to me, that's your recording. You know what I mean? That's what it looked like to me. That's what it looks like to me. They've been ganging up on Lisa. I don't feel like they've been ganging up on Lisa. I feel like Lisa, first of all, when it comes to Housewives, everybody gets a turn. And I feel like this is Lisa's turn. But what I will say is I feel like they're using Stephanie to fight their battle for them. Like if y'all have had a problem with Lisa showing up late for the however many years, then why y'all wait till Stephanie show up to decide to make it a thing? Like all of a sudden this year, it's Lisa's late. Like why? Lisa been late. Why is that the focus this year? But I honestly feel like that's the cycle. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets a turn. Everybody gets a turn. The other conversation they had was about this plane. Let me explain something to y'all. See, this is the problem I have with this whole plane situation. Stephanie was absolutely using this plane as a weapon from the beginning. Even with who could ride with her over there to begin with. Which one of you guys are going to kiss my ass enough that I'm going to let you on the plane? I feel like she was using it as a weapon from the beginning. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm with Alexia. And y'all know I don't even be agreeing with Alexia on none of this shit. But when it comes to this, baby, I'm with Alexia. Girl, you can keep your damn plane. I'm going to go ahead and ride business class. I'm going to go on and walk my ass through TSA and get on business class. Alexia probably got she probably has global entry. She ain't standing in no long line. She probably got VIP, she probably got admiral's class or whatever. Listen, I feel the same way. I'm gonna walk my ass right on through. I'm good on that because she's using it as a weapon. And she did it all the way through. So now Larsa is like, well, I don't want Lisa on the plane with me. That's a fucked up Listen, that conversation was fucked up from the beginning. Because the agreement was everybody was going to get on that plane and fly over it's a 20-minute plane ride. Like, first of all, let's stop acting like it's a flex. Let's stop acting like it's a flex. Baby, it's a 20-minute plane ride. By the time they buckled their seatbelts and did that little scene where they showed us dance, we showed them dance. You realize that 20 minutes, by the time you play 3 songs, it's 20 minutes. You don't even hit no high altitude because in order to get to that high altitude, you need about 20, 30 minutes to even get to that high altitude when the pilot be like, okay, you can, we're at such and such altitude. Think of how when they say we're descending into, that'll be like 30 minutes. So for this plane ride to be 20 minutes, let's be clear. I don't know math. I don't know. I ain't about to sit here and do distance without a calculator and stuff. But I know from here to New York, when I have flown to New York, and that's like 3.5 to a 4-hour drive, depending on traffic, right? It takes me 45 minutes flying. So if you cut that in half and you cut the drive in half, it's like 2 hours to do. Baby, they could have put them in a Sprinter for 2 hours. It's not that deep. So Stephanie, it just wasn't a flex. Like what you doing, it just wasn't a flex. Okay, see, Auntie already told me. Auntie already told me I didn't even have to do all of that. She said it was like 2-hour drive. Right. They could have put their ass in a good old Sprinter. Y'all know they don't put Housewives in Sprinters for 2 hours before. Married to Medicine, they done been on Sprinters going on. Remember when they went up in the mountains and all that? Child, if you don't put these people in a Sprinter and keep it moving, see. So when Stephanie started doing that, that's when I would have been like, yeah, I'm good on this. But anyway, let's keep going. Because it gets deeper. We're gonna get to that in a minute. Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, Larsa's not comfortable with Lisa on the plane. She's talking about Lisa could create a legal situation and stuff like that. Girl, Larsa, you was putting 20 on 10. Like 20 on 10. So they said, yeah, they always on spreaders. Baby, it be going down on them spreaders on Salt Lake City too. All right. So when they get back to the hotel, Alexia, Marisol, and Julia try to have a conversation with Lisa about the phone because of the conversation they had at the tile place where Larsa was like, she felt Larsa was saying she felt uncomfortable, yada, yada, yada. Now, Lisa, girl, look, again, I get it, Lisa. I understand. It's your phone and you should be able to do what you want to do with your phone. But Lisa just be bringing up some extra shit. Well, I have kids. I can't do that. Girl, it's a 20-minute flight. All they were saying was, can you put your phone in a basket for the time we are on the plane? I have kids. I can't do that. Girl, it's a 20-minute flight. Girl, it's a 20-minute flight. Now, they did say, and when we get there, now, I don't know about putting my phone in a basket all day long. I wouldn't have agreed to that. Okay? But just on that 20-minute plane ride, girl, Lisa, put the damn phone in the basket. Now, it sounds to me, though, and we're going to get to the editing because some other stuff got edited out, but we're going to get to that in a minute. But it sounds to me like part of this whole Stephanie plane etiquette conversation got chopped up. And the reason why I say that is because they brought up other stuff later on about her rules about going to the bathroom and her rules about putting stuff in the trash and her rules. First of all, again, if you have to give people rules on what to do in the bathroom, they shouldn't be in your house, your plane, your place of business. If I have to tell a grown-ass woman rules onto when they can and can't or how to use the bathroom and what to do with the toilet paper, they don't need to be on nobody's plane. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, Kiki has a young child. Lisa also has a very adversarial ex-husband. Child. 20 minutes. Again, I could see if this was going to be like a 5-hour flight. Maybe it was 20 minutes. But neither here nor there. Then they said that she had some rules she just had rules about everything. I get it, girl. You don't want nobody to mess up your plane. I get it. But again, if you're worried about somebody messing up your plane, then you don't need to have them on there to begin with. That's like if you say, well, I'm gonna rent this Airbnb, but I'm not sure about the people I'm inviting. They might tear this Airbnb up and I lose my deposit. Then you don't need to invite them. If you're worried about them tearing it up and you losing your deposit, then you don't need to invite them. It's real easy. It's real simple. It's not complicated at all. Okay? All right, moving right along. So then they go out to dinner. Lisa says no. Okay, so there's that. So they go out to dinner again, and while they're at dinner, here's where the big shit pop off. Hold on, let me look at my notes. Lisa was like, I forget it then, I just won't come. And she wasn't going to come to dinner at all. Now, here's where you know production stepped in. Here's where you know that production stepped in. Because Lisa going to talk about, they showed Lisa talking to, I don't know, Adriana, somebody, and they convinced her to come to dinner. Here go Lisa. I mean, well, I am hungry. Girl, they got room service. They got Uber Eats. They have a restaurant downstairs. Girl, you didn't have to go to dinner with them just because you were hungry. That was production saying, hey, girl, you already missed a day of filming. You're going to take your ass to this dinner. That's what that was. But we know what it is. They got to make it look like, oh, Adriana talked to Lisa into going. No, production talked Lisa into going, okay? Because I don't know what you thought this was. But Lisa was an hour late as usual. She was an hour late as usual. Larsa tried to exaggerate, say she was 2 hours late. Girl, she was an hour late. But I still feel like late is late. But again, her being late didn't hold y'all up this time. Y'all were already sitting at dinner. Y'all had already ordered y'all drinks and y'all appetizers. So her being late didn't affect nobody, okay? So again, y'all didn't have to wait for her. So moving it right along. We also found out that the reason why they're going down to, where were they going, y'all? I don't even remember the name of the place. It started with an M. But the reason why they were flying down there is because they were going to go see some friends of Julia's and Martina's, and they were going to ask these guys to be the godfather to their children. So that's what the big deal was. Okay. I'm sure this was something that Julia, because they were going to be so close, that Julia told production, and production decided to bring it into the storyline. It's a good storyline, though. It's really a good storyline. Okay. So while we're at dinner, Adriana lets Larsa know, before Lisa gets there, Adriana lets Larsa know that Lisa unfollowed Marcus. And Kiki was like, wait, girl, we said we would. Lisa swore us to secrecy and made us promise that we weren't going to tell nobody. Adriana going to say, oh, I don't remember that. She said, I must have been looking at the birds or something. I don't remember that. Girl, what you mean you don't remember? You know, y'all know. Production showed us a clip where y'all literally put your hands together and was like, yes, we won't tell. Like, it was a whole pack. What you mean you don't remember, Adriana? Adriana, you said it because you didn't think it was a big deal. You said it because you thought it was going. I really think that Adriana's reason for doing it, I don't think her reason was to be messy. I honestly think that her reason was letting Larsa know so that to hopefully help bring her and Lisa back together, right? I honestly think that's what her reason was. I do not think that Adriana was being messy in this moment. Marbella, thank you. Marbella. I really don't believe that. And that's my opinion. I think that her thought process was, if I let Larsa know that Lisa unfollowed Marcus, maybe this will help resolve it. And what did Larsa say? As soon as Adriana said it, Larsa was like, oh, we passed that now. Oh, we're beyond that. We're way past her following Marcus. Oh, we're past that. And I was like, see, because it was going to be a problem. It was going to, now I still feel like Lisa ain't had no reason following Marcus, but I just didn't think it was a big deal. Like, I would have never even known if my friend was still following my ex-boyfriend. I would never have known. I would never have known. Because why would I? The only way that Larsa would know that Lisa is still following Marcus is if Larsa is still watching Marcus's page. Period. And if it's not Marcus, if it's not Larsa, then it's somebody bringing it back to Larsa. And again, I wouldn't know because I would tell my friends, I don't want to hear that. I don't care. Me and him are no longer together. I don't care what he's doing. As long as it's not something where he's talking about me or posting me or making threats, I don't give a fuck. So I would never know that any of my friends are still following my ex-boyfriend. You know why I would never know? Because I wouldn't be paying attention. But moving right along. So then Kiki and Adriana kind of get into it. And Adriana says to Kiki, stop being ratchet. Which turned into a whole argument. And again, I have to say, Adriana, because you said later on that you meant to say wretched and not ratchet, and that's not what you were saying. You didn't mean it that way. Here's my problem. The whole table immediately responded. The whole table had a response immediately to what you said. So if you meant something different than the minute people's response, you should have cleared it up. Maybe y'all might feel like I'm giving her too much. I think she probably did say wretched instead of ratchet. But when you saw everybody's response, that was the moment to clear it up and be like, what? What do you mean? I'm not calling her ghetto. I said ... Because see, Adriana, you done already showed us how smart you are. So you definitely know the difference between wretched, W-R, and ratchet, R-A. Even if with your accent, it sounded like you said ratchet instead of wretched, the response you got should have let you know, why is everybody mad? Why is everybody responding the way they're responding? Because that's not what I said. It took you until the next day for you to be talking to Julia saying, no, I said wretched. But why didn't you say that at the table? And again, editing, whatever, but I don't think that's what it was because Kiki was still pissed off the next day. So I feel like if Adriana had said, wait, whoa, what are y'all talking about? That's not what I said. That's not what I called her. I feel like it could have been addressed. And then we move forward. So that was the part that got me. So again, if in that moment, or even later on that night, once you had a chance to think about it and was like, wait a minute, that's not what I said. Now, she did say she tried to call Kiki twice, but she didn't say I tried to call Kiki twice because I think she misunderstood what I was saying. She said I was trying to call Kiki so I could apologize for what I said. So then Kiki said to her, you are too old to act the way you act and to say the things that you say. Again, I don't feel like what Kiki said was wrong because I don't feel like she was calling her old as in you too old like you 100 years old. I think she was saying you too old for this bullshit. Like, Adriana, you are too old for this bullshit. Maybe it was Larsa. I can't remember who she was talking to, Chuck, but whoever she was talking to. Right. I thought she was talking to Julia, but maybe it was Larsa. My bad. Excuse me. Okay, excuse me. So, like, that's my thing with the Adriana ratchet thing. Like, you may very well have not meant to say ratchet, or maybe you didn't, but the fact that you didn't correct it in real time is what makes me side-eye you. What makes me side-eye you, Adriana, one is your past. I know you for your works. And Adriana, you are real quick to say something and then backpedal and pussy pop out of it and try to make us think that you didn't say what we know you said, what we saw you said, what we heard you say. You real quick to play that game, Adriana. You quick to play that game. So a part of me, I can't really go all the way down that road with you because you real quick to play that I didn't say that game. That's not what I meant game. You've done it before. So I don't know. I'm not giving you a pass because I still feel like you should have said something. But the other reason why I'm not giving you a pass is because you got real offended and act like you were such a victim of ageism. Ma'am, didn't you just spend 8 hours on a yacht yelling across the water to another yacht, calling Marisol all kinds of old? Girl, you even talked about her knees having wrinkles. Is that what we're doing? Are we really sitting here acting like we are so offended and we're so upset when you literally talked about that woman's knees being wrinkled? Like, that's what we doing? Girl, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere, acting like you offended that this woman called you old. See, that's why I said, Adrian, that's why I gotta side eye you. That's why. It's crazy to me. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt, but she's still saying the word has two meanings, but not two separate words. No, she was saying she said wretched, not ratchet. She was saying a different word. She was saying wretched. RWR, like Vanessa was going down to Baltimore to have big fun with the wretched. Yeah. That's what she was saying. Let me see something. I meant to do this before I went live, but let me check something. Let me see something. So, if I even look up the definition of wretched, WRETCHED, the word wretched means extremely or deplorably bad or distressing, being or appearing mean, miserable, or contemptible, very poor in quality. I still don't feel like that's something nice to call somebody. What up, Mims? Adriana walked so Portia could run. She was the first housewife to physically assault another housewife on camera. She slapped the shit out of Joanna group of. Oh, you know what? I never watched the first Miami. I watched like the first couple of episodes, and that was it. That was before the days of me putting. I just didn't watch it. If I tell y'all the reason why I couldn't get into the first Miami, it's going to sound very mean, and I don't want to say nothing mean about people, but it was just hard. I just couldn't get into it. But anyway, moving right along. So as they're arguing, Stephanie gets upset because once again, everything has to be about Stephanie. Stephanie gets upset and she starts crying, talking about something. I can't believe you guys. You guys are terrible. This is so horrible. I can't do this. You guys ruin everything. And then she gets up and she runs out. And of course, Marisol and Alexia and Larsa run behind her. So they end up going back to the hotel. And Stephanie then has this whole conversation where she sits down and figures out who is and who is not going to be on this plane, and where everybody is going to sit, and all of these different rules. Marisol and Alexia are not feeling it. Like in real time, Marisol and Alexia are just not feeling this. Now, here's a part of what's going on that we don't see, that they edited out. The first thing that they edited out was Stephanie snapped at Gertie. Gertie said something to Stephanie, and Stephanie sort of yelled at Gertie and walked away from her. I don't remember the exact details, but they said that there was a situation with Stephanie and Gertie before they left the restaurant as well, where Stephanie got nasty with Gertie. So then Alexia and Marisol were so upset at this whole Stephanie sitting down, doing this seating chart, playing dictator. I believe Marisol called her Mussolini. Oh, well, who was going to get on the plane and where everybody was going to sit, that they were like, yeah, we're not doing it. We're not going. And what happened was, according to Gertie, I believe Gertie was telling, no, it wasn't Gertie telling the story. Maybe it was Kiki. Somebody was telling the story that what happened was Alexia and Marisol were trying to get all of the ladies to not get on the plane, because their thing was, if all of us refuse to get on the plane, then production will just get us a bus and we'll ride the bus, because they said, and that's why they ultimately decided not to get on the plane. And that's why they kind of had an attitude with the rest of the ladies, especially Gertie, because they were like, well, she just talked to you crazy. Like, she just yelled at you and talked to you crazy, and now you jumping ready to get on the plane. So they were trying to like, mobilize the people. Me, the Mims, I would not got on that plane. Like, listen, I'm with Alexia and Marisol on this one. I wouldn't have got on the plane. I just wouldn't have. But here's my problem with Alexia and Marisol. I would have been honest about why I didn't get on the plane. Like all of that. Well, we just needed some time to ourselves and we hadn't had any time to spend together. Just be honest and say, we didn't like the way you were handling that situation and we didn't want to be under your thumb because Stephanie did make a statement and say, well, if y'all cut up, I guess I'll just have to leave y'all there. See, I'm with Alexia and Marisol. What you won't do is lord that over my head. Oh, well, you can't get on my plane. If you don't act the way I feel like you should act, then I'm just going to leave you here. You can just catch a bus back or a Sprinter or whatever. Yeah, I'm with Marisol and Alexia. I wouldn't have gone either. And then, of course, they made a big deal about, oh, well, these were your new best friends. And they, Julia, this was something very important to you. You were going down there, to ask these men to be the godfather of your children. And they didn't even come. This was so important. Listen, first of all, it wasn't that deep. I mean, it was Julia asking these men to be the godfather for her sons. That's great. But she wasn't asking none of them. I mean, you know what I'm saying? She wasn't asking none of them. Don't tell me I can't walk on your cashmere carpet with shoes, then you walk on the cashmere carpet with your shoes. Right, Mims? But my thing is, even that, don't invite me somewhere, and then if I don't act right, you ain't going to bring me back home? What kind of shit is that? You didn't act the way I felt like you needed to act, so you're going to have to find your own way home. The bitch, no. Now, I'm sure that Alexia and Marisol, I shouldn't say I'm sure. In my opinion, I don't know this to be a fact. I feel like they probably was trying to get production to give them a ride. Like, well, can y'all just get us a Sprinter and we'll go? And production was like, yeah, we're not doing that. Which I can understand them not doing that for just two people. Like, I get that. It probably wasn't that deep for them to rent their own car for the day because I wouldn't have done that either. I would have done exactly what they did. I would have hung out in the city, went to have me a nice dinner, a nice lunch, or whatever, relax, maybe booked me a spa day down to the hotel, got me a facial or something. I mean, I would have done exactly what they did. Because what you're not going to do is ever feel like you got that kind of power over me in a situation that serious. No, hell no. Hell no. Vern XO said for a 20-minute ride, she's right. Like, listen. I've been on a 20-minute plane ride before. I've had to fly from anybody who lives in the DC area. I've had to fly from I was flying somewhere one time and my flight got canceled. So they rebooked me, they booked me on another flight, but the flight was leaving out of Dulles. I was at BWI. So they literally had to fly all of us that they were rebooking. They had to fly us from BWI to Dulles so that we can make that plane. And it literally was like, it wasn't even 20 minutes because from BWI to Dulles, it was like maybe 10, 15-minute plane ride. But that was years ago, child. That was pre-9/11. Now they'd be like, oh, well, you got to wait here until tomorrow morning. That was when there was some serious customer service going on in the airline industry. But neither here nor there. It's not that deep. Like, it's just not that deep. So Stephanie, once again, makes it all about her. She makes it, I feel like this is against me. I feel like this is an attack against me. I feel like this is all about me. And why would they do this to me? Me. See, this is why I said, I bet Spirit does treat you like a VIP, Mims. Mims will get off a Spirit flight and get into a fucking Bentley. Baby, Mims will fly Spirit and rent a Bentley. I ain't mad at you, boo. I ain't mad at you. But so I was like, why is Stephanie making this all about her? It's really not about her. And well, it is about her, but not like that. But that's why I feel like Alexia and Marisol should have been straight up. and just told her the truth. Like, girl, you was acting like a damn dictator, and you're not gonna have that kind of power over me. All the while, right, in a fur coat, exactly, and will, and will. But that's just like when Stephanie. This is why I said to y'all at the beginning when Stephanie was talking about her sisters, and why she don't understand why her sisters aren't speaking to her, and this, and this. And remember, I told y'all from the beginning, I want to talk to the sisters. Because I bet you the sisters have a totally different story than what Stephanie is saying. And when she brought her sisters up and was like, see, this is what happens with me and my sisters. And this is why, we didn't get along. And this is why we da-da-da. I said, see, this is what it is. You were lording your money over them. You were lording what you were doing for them over them. Let me tell you something. I don't care how down and out somebody is. People never want to be treated as if they're not still human beings. Like, you can't throw your money, which ain't even your fucking money. You can't, which word on the curb is you don't even have no more money. But that's another conversation. But you can't put that on people and then don't understand why they respond the way they respond. See now, seeing the way you handled this whole plane situation, I know exactly why your sisters don't fuck with you. I know exactly why they don't fuck with you. Because your sisters would probably rather go to the mall and work folding clothes in the back storeroom of a department store than to work for your ass. They would probably be a cashier down to the Walmart. And there's no disrespect to people. I've been a cashier at the Walmart, okay? No disrespect. But they would probably work at Walmart as a cashier on the midnight shift than to deal with your ass. After seeing that, I 100% understand why your sisters don't fuck with you. And I need to listen. We need to find these sisters. I really ain't putting no effort into it, but maybe I should. Maybe I should put some effort into finding these sisters because I need to hear their story. Because I feel like it's a story to be told. I need to find who be tagging the sisters. Where can we find them sisters? I might have to do some research. I might need to call a private investigator and say, look, can you find these people for me? Maybe they'll come and do an interview. I definitely prefer Dr. Nicole to Stephanie. And listen, for all the people that said that Dr. Nicole was flaunting her money, but she flaunted her money in the right way. She flaunted her money in a way that didn't, you felt some kind of way if you were trying to, look down on her. Like when she threw that black card on the table. Baby, when Marisol said, this man is coming here to talk to us and he's very expensive. Baby, Dr. Nicole threw that black card on the table and said, I can pay for his time. See, that's how you just throw money out there. That's how you just let people know you got it like that. Baby, when they went to the reunion last year, and Dr. Nicole and Gertie was on that on Dr. Nicole's husband's boyfriend's jet, and they flew to the reunion in his jet, and he flew them to the reunion. See, that's how you just let people know you got money. You don't have to put it out there like that. They just posted the picture on social media, the two of them on the plane on the way to the reunion. See, anyway, move right along. When you just have scenes where you shopping for yachts, because you ready to upgrade. Not that y'all didn't already have a yacht. Y'all wanted a new one. See, that's what I'm talking about. But moving right along. So we get down to Marbella, and it is beautiful. This I don't even know. I don't even have the right words. It's not a house. It's not a villa. It really is just a fucking mansion. I thought it was like a boutique hotel. But is that really with them people? Is that those men's house? Baby, that thing was gorgeous. Do you hear me? Gorgeous. I need to put Marbella on my to-do list because everything was so gorgeous. But that house was absolutely gorgeous. And here's where I need to talk to Lisa for a minute. Now, Lisa, I understand that you probably grew up middle class, maybe lower middle class. I I feel like you didn't even grow up middle class. I feel like you grew up like poor to maybe somewhere between poor and middle class. Okay, up in Canada. I'm cool. But girl, you've been living with Lenny in money for a long time now. Why was you down to them people's house, mansion, villa, whatever, acting like you never been nowhere before? Now see, I'm about to go left now. Ride with me. Now see, had that been Kiki acting that way, acting like she never been nowhere before, getting all drunk and loud, talking about Dom Perignon and Beluga and all that other stuff, then y'all have really been calling her ratchet. Then y'all really would have been calling that woman ratchet, right? But when it was Lisa, ain't nobody act like there was a problem. Nobody said nothing when it was Lisa. Nobody act like it was an issue when it was Lisa. Lisa was really sitting there acting like she never been nowhere before. And I'm like, girl, you've been around money too long for this. Like you literally you were around money too long for this. I could see if you just married Lenny yesterday. Girl, you've been with Lenny for a minute. So you're not going to sit here and tell me you've never been to nice places. You're not going to tell me that you never had. I was just sitting there like, what the fuck? What is going on? What are we doing here, Lisa? What And it was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. Okay. Anyway. The other thing, of course, the guys said yes. They'll be the godparents, and they call Martina and all that good stuff. But once again, Julia brings up her daughters. And I'm gonna say the same thing about Julia and her daughters that I said about Stephanie and her sisters. There's more to this story. I don't care what nobody says. There's more to this story. Your daughters, well, first of all, we already know that Julia didn't have the best relationship with her daughters to begin with. If we go back to, what was that, last season, where she didn't even know the name of her daughter's school that she was attending? How you don't know the name of the school your child go to? The fact that I believe the daughters lived with the father, it already let me know that she don't have the closest relationship with her daughters. So there's more to that story, in my opinion. There's more to that story as well. But for you to sit here and be like, you spent all this time crying about this man and these daughters, and he was like, just give them time, just give them time. And you keep making it seem like it's because they were upset that you're adopting these kids. It's got to be deeper than that. And maybe it's not, but I need to hear from them. Right, Julia didn't raise them kids. I just need to hear from them. And maybe that's where it's coming from. Maybe it's, you didn't have time to raise us, but now you got time to go get 2 new kids. Maybe that's where it's coming from, child. I don't know. But anyway, so Marbella was beautiful. Let me go to my notes, child. Marisol calls Richard Branson, and they're going to be getting on Virgin Cruises for a couple of days. So I guess that's the final trip. Remember, we were trying to figure out why they hadn't been on the second trip. And I was like, maybe that yacht weekend was the second trip, but it looks like that's going to be the second trip that they're getting on Richard Branson's cruise. Looks like Marisol is going to be the connection for that. So that's next episode. And Marisol was like, listen, after the way these ladies been acting, I don't know if I want to put all of them on the cruise ship and embarrassing me. So we'll get to that. So the next day we come back, yada, yada, yada. The next day is the final day. They're having Stephanie's birthday party with those dresses that they had made and they were on their way down to the courtyard. Everything was great. Stephanie was surprised. She was all crying and I can't believe they did this for me. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And then Stephanie decides to confront Alexia about why they didn't come. Now listen, y'all know I can take situations on a situation by say, hey, Lady Leatherneck, I can take it by situation basis. On this situation, I understood exactly why Stephanie asked Alexia without Marisol. You got to separate them two. You can't have the two of them together. I 100% understand why Stephanie was like, no, I'm going to talk to Alexia first and then I'll talk to Marisol because I want to know what the deal is. Because by this time now she's getting different stories. She's heard, well, they didn't come because they didn't like the way you handled it. Then it was, well, they didn't come because they just needed some time to themselves. So there were different stories given. So I absolutely understand why Stephanie was like, well, girl, what's the truth? Just tell me the truth. Why didn't you come? But I feel like a part of me understands why you confronted Alexia, but then a part of me feels like, why was it that deep? It just wasn't that deep. That was Julia that should have been more upset than you, in my opinion. Like, I can see where Julia would be more upset. But anyway. I think that was child. And then they got to arguing again. Adriana apologized to Kiki. She accepted the apology. Blah, blah, blah. I feel like that's all that happened, child. Hold on, let me make sure that's all I have in my notes. Stephanie parties. Stephanie confronts Alexia, Richard Bronson. I mean, they all go back to the hotel and they're all having these separate conversations about what happened and, you know, how they're such a fresher group and everybody's so mad or whatever. But that's pretty much what it is. I feel like we have like maybe 3 episodes left because they have to do the trip next week on the Virgin Cruises. And I don't know, they may make that a 2-episode situation and then they'll have the final episode, or they'll do the whole cruise thing next week and then they'll have the final episode. Either way, we know that the reunion was filmed a couple of weeks ago and we're going to probably have a 3-part reunion, even though, Bravo going to find a way to give you 3 parts of a reunion. So we probably got that 3-part reunion. And then that's going to take us into Salt Lake City and then Potomac. So there we go, you guys. There it is. So that was pretty much the 2 episodes. I'm sorry, took me a while to get here, but we caught up and hopefully we'll finish out the season strong. Them changing it to Thursday night kind of threw everything off, but we're going to make it work. We're going to do what we can. The scenery and the dresses at the courtyard was good. Yeah, that was just gorgeous. Like, that was a great scene. And again, I understand why Stephanie wanted to talk to Alexia separately, but y'all know Alexia, I want Marisol to be here. And Stephanie was like, girl, Marisol don't need to be here. I'm talking to you right now. Well, you don't get to dictate the conversation, Stephanie. And now we'll say, Stephanie, you did cut Alexia off. You talked. And then when Alexia went to go talk, you did cut her off. Actually, no, I'm sorry. The other way around. Alexia, you did cut off Stephanie, and Stephanie was like, I let you talk. So on that one, I kind of was with Stephanie, like, Alexia, she did let you tell your whole bullshit story. And then when she started talking, you tried to interject. And she was like, hold up, I let you tell your whole story. Let me talk. You're not going to talk to me like that. You're not going to talk to me like that. Child. It's wild how Stephanie just flat out lied, saying Alexia was the one that didn't want Lisa to go. Right, because it was Larsa. That is, yeah, you're right, Amanda. Listen, I tried to keep the notes up, child. But you're right. That was Larsa that did that. Anyway. It doesn't even matter because it shouldn't even been a conversation. Like, Lisa not going shouldn't have been a conversation, in my opinion. Anyway, y'all, that was it. Lumpy and Bumpy took me out as well. I'm not doing this with y'all. With that being said, y'all, let me get out of here. I will talk to y'all later. Mwah. Peace.